So good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for being here today. My name is Bria, and today we're going to hold a student panel for all of you prospective students who are interested in getting to know a bit more about USD and the MBA program. So we have the luxury of having some wonderful PMBAs as well as MBA students with us here today. And we will go ahead and have each of them introduce themselves and just give you a brief overview of their experience so far. So I'll go ahead and start first. My name is Bria, as I had just mentioned. I'm a first-year full-time MBA student, and my concentration is marketing. So far at USD, I've been involved in the Graduate Business Student Association. I'm actually the VP of events, and I've also competed in several case competitions throughout the year. My partner and I actually won first place at the Fowler Business Concept Challenge last fall. So that was really exciting. And the reason why I chose USD is because I just felt very valued during the admissions process. And I felt that the small class sizes would really benefit my degree and my career moving forward. So I'll pass it on to Kelly and she'll introduce herself.
Hi everyone, my name is Kelly Gardner. I'm also a first-year full-time MBA student at USD, and my concentration is entrepreneurship. Some of the clubs I'm involved in are it's Women's Professional and Allies, formerly known as NAMBA, I'm a member of. And then I'm also the incoming vice president for Net Impact. And this year I'm the vice president of marketing for the Graduate Business Student Association. The reason why I chose USD is because I actually went here for my undergrad degree and I studied elementary education. Decided that wasn't for me, and I knew that San Diego is the best place on earth to live, so I wasn't going to move. And I also knew from being an undergrad at USD how tight the Torero network is, so I knew that there's great networking opportunities and that alumni are always willing to help out, so that was a huge thing for me. And now I'll pass it on to Jason to introduce himself.
All right. Hello, everyone. Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it. My name is Jason Blasias. I'm currently a second year in the professional MBA program. My concentration is managerial leadership, which I really enjoy. I am also the cohort representative for my cohort, which is a great kind of leadership opportunity. Get to be the liaison between a lot of the grad school upper leadership and my classmates. The reason I chose University of San Diego is because this is a really hard place to leave. I've lived here my whole life. It's a beautiful University of San Diego is absolutely stunning. And honestly, the teachers in the small classes. So I actually went here in undergrad a few years ago, and I absolutely fell in love with the business program and the teachers, and a lot of the teachers taught in the MBA programs. So that's what really sold me. And yeah, I absolutely love it. I'll pass it on to Leona.
Thanks, Jason. Hi, everyone. My name is Leona Snell, and I'm also a second-year professional MBA student, and we are set to graduate in a couple of days, so very excited about that. My concentration is marketing, and I was also involved with a couple clubs on campus. So I served as the Director of Communications for the Graduate Business Student Association, and I was also a member of the Net Impact Club. And I have a background in financial services, and one of the reasons why I chose to attend USD is the amount of great opportunities to study abroad. So now I will pass it on to Zac.
All right, thank you, Leona. Hello, everyone. My name is Zac Pedone. I'm also a professional MBA student, also with a concentration in marketing. Leona and I actually had the pleasure of serving together on the Graduate Business Student Association. I got to work as the director of events. It was a really great way to contribute to the enriching student experience here. I would say probably I was drawn to USD because of the alumni network. I've heard a lot of great things about being able to connect with alumni after school, and I've even had the opportunity to sit down with some alumni on like a professional mentorship basis while I've been here at USD. So that's been really awesome. So I'm going to hand it over to Ian and let him introduce himself.
Thanks, Zach. I'm Ian Lonsdale. I am in the professional MBA program. Second year, I don't have a concentration. I ended up doing a lot of different courses, which has been fantastic. I've been able to do classes in customer analytics, finance, entrepreneurship, marketing, as many other people here have focused on. I'm one of the cohort reps, and as Jason said, it's a nice leadership experience to be able to be the liaison between your classmates and school leadership and be able to help guide curriculum, feedback, and help the student experience. My journey to USD was a little bit varied. I have a 8-year background in retail management, first with Apple and then with Tiffany & Company here in San Diego. Then I transitioned and I've been selling software as service for about 5 years. I've wanted to do an MBA for a long time, and I actually applied at several different schools here in the San Diego area, knowing that like everyone else in this room, I wasn't going to leave. And after interviewing at UCSD and SDSU, University of San Diego had, as other people have mentioned, a very personal approach. I like the small class sizes. I like the care about the students. I was very drawn to the way the program cared about me and allowed me to have a great network. As people have said, University of San Diego is very tight-knit as a community. And my goal is to stay here in San Diego, which is why I was doing my MBA here. And that helped me put down even more roots in the business community. So those are the reasons I'm here, and it's been a fantastic experience. As Leona said, we're close to graduating, and I've taken away so much that I put to use every day at my job. So thanks.
Thank you guys so much for introducing yourselves and just explaining a bit more your reasoning behind why choosing USD. So Kelly and I are actually student ambassadors for the graduate business program at USD. So we have a couple questions for you guys that have been sent to us from prospective students. So we thought we would go through these questions with you so that we can hopefully give these people some answers before they decide to make the jump to USD. So I'll start off.
Just a quick interjection. At the bottom of the screen, as we've been talking, you'll see our emails, Bria's email and my email. So if you do have any questions, for those of you watching, since we had to do this in a little bit of a different format due to current conditions, you can reach out to either one of us and we will do our best to answer them or refer you to one of these great panelists or somebody else that can help you. Go ahead, Bria.
Yes, great. Thanks, Kelly. All right, so I will go ahead with the first question. Leona, you mentioned that you chose USD because of all the abroad opportunities that it offers. How about you tell us a little bit more about the intersession opportunities that you decided to take?
Sure. Yeah, great question. So as I said, one of the reasons or the things that really stood out to me from the MBA program at USD are the numerous opportunities to study abroad. And so I ended up studying abroad a total of 3 times. My first study abroad, I completed a multicultural management class in Buenos Aires, Argentina, where we had the opportunity to speak with local Argentine economists, and we discussed their current economic landscape. The second study abroad opportunity that I had was with a world famous shoe brand. And that opportunity took place in Shanghai, China. And that consulting project consisted of analyzing consumer behavior across 3 different retail stores in Shanghai. And so what was great about that opportunity is that we had the opportunity to present our findings to key management figures in Shanghai. And most recently, I completed a corporate value and ethics class in Tokyo, Japan, which I highly recommend. And within that class, we learned more about C-level management compensation, as well as the overall stakeholder landscape in Japan. And so looking back, I really think that these opportunities were impactful in my development as an MBA student, and they were also a great opportunity to apply a lot of the frameworks that we learned in other courses.
Thank you so much, Leona, for that thoughtful response. This question is for Zac. Zac, can you please tell us about some of the leadership roles that you took during your time at USD?
Sure. Great question. I mentioned before my involvement with the Graduate Business Student Association. I think that was the primary leadership role I took on as the director of events. It was actually really great. It was a campaign opportunity, so luckily I had Leona campaigning on my behalf a little bit. But yeah, it was really great. I got to connect with some advisors and faculty that I think as a professional student, I wouldn't have had the opportunity to get to know otherwise. So that was really a great personal gain from the experience. And then as well, I got to meet students that are full-time students that I don't really get to see in my classes because I'm primarily on campus in the evenings. So that was really great too. It exposed me to a lot of the resources USD has for students. And I think that that was one of the benefits for me personally, was just to see what's out there and what's at my fingertips. So I would encourage other students to really make yourself familiar with what's available to you and what you can get involved with when you come to USD.
Awesome. Thanks, Zac. So, Jason, you mentioned that your concentration is in managerial leadership. Could you tell us a bit more about this concentration and maybe tell the prospective students how concentrations work in general, if they have to take one, if they don't have to take one, etc.?
Yeah, so it's managerial leadership. I actually was like Ian going into the MBA program. I kind of just wanted to pick the classes that I wanted to take, and I wasn't really sold on a concentration. Just turns out that all the classes I wanted to take fell under the managerial leadership concentration. And that really actually was fantastic because this concentration, I know wherever I go in life, I'll be one day managing and leading people, which is what I want to do. So I feel like I've learned a lot in the classes in this concentration. Some of the faves, I think all the students here have probably taken are power and politics, negotiations, management consulting. I've met some of the people in this call in those classes. So they're great classes. I love the concentration. And yeah, Bria, to go off your second question there, as far as concentrations, there are quite a few offered, marketing, business analytics, managerial leadership. So you don't have to take one when you're getting your MBA at USD. You can kind of take the classes you want to take, but if you kind of want to have a little more concentrated, like niche for your degree, like Leona's for marketing and Zac for marketing, then that's an option you can take. And it's really unique because that way you get to actually further maybe network with people that are interested in the same concentration, which is fantastic because that's what really your MBA is all about is networking and meeting people and making lifelong friends. So yeah.
Thanks, Jason. Funny enough, I'm an entrepreneurship concentration, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to end up with all of the classes and units for managerial leadership as well. So it just depends on which ones you pick and choose. But yeah, the concentrations are great. Whether you take them or not, you can take a variety of classes. This next question is for Ian. Ian, can you tell us about, as a PMBA, the work-life school balance that you have established?
Yes, it's challenging at first, I won't lie. It was interesting to go full-time job and then do classes. I decided to do the PMBA program that was after work and on campus because I wanted to be able to meet people in person, make an impression, and get to know a lot of my classmates, which meant the added time of commute and these sorts of things. But in reality, it's just taken a lot of scheduling. So now I'm very specific about what I do with my weekends. Time I schedule with people is very, very specific. There are a lot of friends who are very much looking forward to me finishing this degree because they haven't been high enough on the scale of hangout, because there's been just a lot of time I've spent focused on class and honestly with a lot of the classmates and friends that I'm making at the University of San Diego. I wish I could say that it's just easy, it's a walk in the park, but you do need to set time aside. And it's helped quite a bit with scheduling for me, like a lot of structure, really setting time aside. So those are the things that I think about, because my day job, does not really allow for me to do homework during it, which I know some people occasionally can pull aside those hours to finish up an assignment before class. So I have to focus really to get things done over the weekend and then after class. And it's been manageable though. I won't say that it's been a bear or anything like that. It's definitely been doable. You just have to think about it.
Thanks, Ian. And we know you make time also to help out at events like these. So thank you.
I love it.
Okay, this next question is for Bria. Bria, how has your experience been with USD thus far as an international student? I don't think you mentioned at the beginning, Bria's from Canada, so.
Yes, even though I look like I'm from here, I'm not. I'm from where it's very cold, which is why I came to school here, because I was done with the cold. So even though I'm from Canada, which is not that foreign, I still had to follow all the international procedures. USD is really great with providing you with all the guidelines that you need in order to get your student visa, fill out all the paperwork that you need. They provide you with opportunities for housing, international scholarships, etc. So you really do have those resources available to you. There actually is a whole department for international students at USD, which I did not find was the case for all universities that I applied to. So this was really great, and they made the process very seamless, honestly. So it feels like I'm one of you guys now.
Thanks, Bria.
All right, so Kelly, I will return the favor and ask you a question. So you mentioned your concentration is entrepreneurship. So what are your entrepreneurial goals after you graduate, and how has USD helped you pursue those goals so far?
Yeah, so I went into USD knowing why I wanted to get my MBA, which for a lot of you watching, if you don't know specifically like what exactly you want to do, that's very common. But my goal is to create a sustainable craft cocktail bar in the San Diego area, and then a consulting business off of that. So going to USD has been super helpful with that. There's a lot of competitions for entrepreneurs to participate in with chances to earn money. Like Bria was talking about international housing. She actually has won a competition with a business concept helping that with another classmate. And then even if you don't win the competitions every time, it helps you just kind of further develop your concepts, like making different business plans, pitches. And then this fall, I'm really looking forward to a class that I'm taking that you have to pitch to get into. It's called Torero Ventures Lab. And with that, we work with Professor Bria, and she's amazing. You'll all, if you go to USD, you'll all meet her. You'll all think she's amazing. I think it's a general consensus. But she pairs us up with mentors, and we spend the entire semester just working on our concept, working on our pitches, working on the business model. And then another great thing through USD has been the alumni mentor program that you can apply to be in. And so I applied, and April Cash, who works for Career Services, sets it all up. She pairs you with an alumni or another person that's just affiliated with USD who's doing great things in the community of San Diego, and she tries to match you with somebody who is in your industry. So I have the general counsel of a local brewery that got his JD MBA dual degree as my mentor, and he's introduced me to people from Maker's Mark, who's introduced me to people that own bars in San Diego. So there's just a huge entrepreneurial spirit at USD, and in fact, a lot of the professors are even entrepreneurs who have taken businesses public, sold them, all that. So everybody's super willing to help and bounce ideas off of, and it's just a great environment. So thank you.
So we talked a little bit about this earlier, but a lot of prospective students want to know what our class size is like, and how our teachers outside of class time, are they generally available? do you get a lot of one-on-one time if you need it with these teachers? All right, Jason, you can go ahead.
All right, raise my hand first. Yeah, they're great. So starting with class sizes, I don't think I've had a class over 30 people, and that might be for some of the ones you take towards the beginning. Once you start getting into the classes and the concentrations you want to take, I'd say it's a lot smaller classes. But even 30 to a lot of people would be a huge shock as being as a big class here at USD. So there's plenty of face-to-face time with the teacher. They all learn your names. You're going to get really close with your class throughout the semesters. And my favorite thing about grad school so far has been the teachers' availability. They will make themselves available. Even in a global pandemic, they'll make themselves available. They'll meet you halfway. They'll call you. They'll meet you on Zoom. You can come down to their office hours. You can just email them and say, hey, I can't make your office hours. Can I be there maybe later today? They're going to make time for you. And that's probably the biggest surprise that I had coming in. I mean, these teachers are just as busy as us, and they have everyday lives too, but they make everything available for the students, which has been fantastic. So yeah.
Thanks, Jason.
Thanks. I also just want to add on to what Jason said. I have had, since I work in the graduate business admissions office as a graduate assistant, I've had a couple of people worried that the class sizes are too small, which was a fear of mine when I started USD as an undergrad. I was like, I'm not sure if I want tiny classes, but 30 is, I think, the perfect amount, or 30 or a little bit less. You get to know everybody, you get different ideas, but it's definitely big enough that like you have so many different perspectives in the classroom. So I think it's a good ratio, not too intimidating, because I know some prospective students are worried about that, and I don't blame you. Another question for just anybody: are there opportunities to get involved on campus in leadership positions? So Zach kind of talked about this, but if anybody else has any other experiences to talk about.
I will just say that the short answer to that is yes, there are a ton of opportunities to get involved. I think pretty much everyone on this panel is involved in some sort of leadership opportunity, and you know, a lot of those were nomination-based roles too, where we didn't do anything to seek that out. So if you're motivated and you're looking for something, there's definitely opportunity for you to pursue.
Thanks, Zach. And yes, to add to his points, sometimes opportunities come to you when you're not even expecting them. So there's definitely plenty to go around on campus. And there's something for everyone too. So as Jason was talking about concentrations, it's the same with USD organizations. There's really something for everyone. So next question: is there anything that any of you wish you had known before beginning your MBA program that you know now? Yeah, Zach, go ahead again.
Well, I left my hand raised, so I got stuck with this one. I don't really know what comes to mind, but you know, I wish I had kind of jumped on pursuing an MBA sooner, maybe, because I've had a lot of fun. I feel like I've learned a lot, and yeah, it's been a totally positive experience and worth all the work. So I think that would be what I wish I knew, is just go after it and get started sooner than later.
I agree, definitely worth it. Jason, you have your hand up as well if you want to go ahead.
Yeah, no, I just, this is the question I wrote the most notes for, so I figured I'd talk on this one. I think I could speak for my whole cohort for the professional MBA program that, you know, it's not undergrad. So a lot of people are prepping like, oh, I got to get those binders ready, got to get those notes ready, got to get those, you know, labels ready. And they're taking every possible note in class, and, you know, they're studying 4 hours a night, which is great. That's what some students do. But for me, that, in my opinion, I think a lot of my cohort's opinion now, maybe in their second year, is that's not really what grad school is about. It's really about that classroom experience, that critical thinking, those group projects, you know, bonding with your classmates, learning from them just as much as you learn from your teachers in the course. So I think I think not stressing too much before you start is a huge learning experience that probably all of my fellow professional MBA classmates can agree with, because I think everyone's going to be okay grade-wise, and we're all going to make it. And so that was something that was a huge learning experience for me that I'd love to pass on to prospective MBA folks.
Thanks, Jason. And I think Leona also had something she wanted to add.
Sure. Thanks, Kelly. So I think that one of the things that you read about, you research about, you hear about is networking. And I didn't realize the importance of networking until my second year. And just to give prospective students some context, I started off in the professional MBA program, so along with Ian taking evening classes. However, I transitioned to being a full-time student, so I completely stopped working because I ran out of PTO and I really wanted to study abroad. So I became a full-time student. And like I said earlier, my background is in financial services, but many students will find that throughout the program, they'll look to transition to a different industry, a different space, a different function. And so I think many times we think that the MBA degree itself will get you that interview, and it doesn't typically happen that way, especially with COVID-19. And so I've spent the past 6 months reaching out to potential managers on LinkedIn, conducting informational calls, learning more about the industry that I'm looking to get into, learning more about that specific function. And so what I have to say to prospective students is, do not wait until that semester before graduation to be looking for internships, to start applying for jobs. Like, you want to start doing that as soon as you start your program.
Thanks, Leona.
Sure.
So another question, we have a lot of PMBAs here, so hopefully one of you guys can answer this, or I know Bria might be able to. Can anybody tell us about their internship experience or experiences? So a lot of the PMBAs, you have full-time work, but.
Sure. So during my transition from part-time to full-time, I secured an internship with a local organization by the name of Acción, and it was with the marketing and business development department. And I was able to secure that internship because I reached out to the career development office, and they were able to connect me with people within that organization. So once again, if you are seeking that internship, don't think that you're alone. Don't think that you have to cold apply. There are so many resources on campus. And you also have to remember that the USD networking community in San Diego is so small. It's so tight-knit. So there are many opportunities, and the career office will do everything that they can to make that introduction to you, for you, I should say. Bria, what was your experience?
So yeah, my experience, I also met my, current future, I guess, supervisor for the summer for my internship through networking through USD. One of my colleagues met him at a networking event, and he was looking for someone in marketing. So then I got referred to him, and it just kind of worked out that way. So as you had mentioned earlier, Leona, there are so many amazing networking opportunities through USD that prospective students should definitely take advantage of, because sometimes even when you're not looking, it can work out that way. You can meet someone that you just connect with, or a job opportunity can sort of be created for you that maybe wasn't created for you because you connect with that person. So it's definitely a great opportunity to take advantage of all the networking events that USD has.
Thanks, Bria and Leona. And I think what Bria said also speaks to how close-knit the USD community is, while not just with alumni, but while you're here. The fact that she got an internship through one of our classmates. Like, if you hear of something that you think might be a good fit for somebody, then you'll always get an email or a text saying like, hey, I saw this and I thought of you, because it's a small enough close-knit community that we all know pretty much what our classmates are hoping for and looking for. So when you network, you're also networking for your friends, and your friends are networking for you, which is awesome. Bria, do you want to ask the next question?
Yes. So we already talked quite a bit about networking, but for all the PMBAs that are with us today, how do you feel that USD has really assisted your career development?
Yeah, actually, I was encouraged to apply to this program by my boss, and this has kind of been part of a corporate development initiative for me. Actually, I just took on like digital marketing responsibilities for our company. We're a small biotech company, like 200 employees. So that opportunity was handed to me just because of the experience and exposure I've had, and kind of the audition, that I got from work was to present some material. And I think I was only able to pass that or have a successful presentation because of some of the classes I've taken related to marketing and customer analytics and, digital marketing in general. So I think it's been definitely a immediate effect. I'm not even through my program and I'm already getting new opportunities. So it's been really great.
Thanks, Zach. That's awesome to hear that. For anybody, maybe everybody. Oh, Ian, do you have something to say on that? No.
Oh, I thought you were continuing the question. I was going to say what it's been really great meeting a lot of classmates, for one, just to get to know more of the industry in San Diego. But actually, even in our cohort, one of our classmates was able to, through networking just in the cohort, be able to apply for a new job and get a promotion, which has been fantastic. And then I've, through my company, even lined people up. I focused on the undergrads because I felt like it was better for them, but lined them up with internships at our company. So those are things that are also available constantly. You can even look to your classmates for your internship opportunities and these types of things.
Thanks, that's awesome. Okay, so for anybody who wants to answer, maybe everybody wants to have a say at this, but what has been your favorite event or experience or memory at USD so far?
I'll start it off for everyone. For me, it's by far, and it's probably a lame answer, but for me, it's by far just the cohort bonding. I definitely was a little scared coming into the MBA program. I thought networking meant, putting your name on your shirt and walking around and having to say everything you've done with your life. But that's not what it is at all. And I feel like I've made just so many friends through this experience, and will continue to make. So, the cohort bonding. One of my favorite memories is actually I went with Leona to Shanghai for that consulting trip. I was one of the only first-year professional MBA students on the trip, so I didn't know anyone. I only knew Leona through a one-time encounter. So I was absolutely frightened. I was going to Shanghai to work with people and go out with people I'd never met. I thought it was just going to be me in the hotel room. And every night I was out with everyone from the different international business schools that were there, as well as our business school. And I made some like lifelong friends out of it. And that was one of my favorite memories because every USD student was just so open and so welcoming. And I think that shows a lot about our MBA program. It's just, we attract some of the best people in the entire world, I feel like. So getting to meet these people and getting to share some amazing memories, whether it's karaoke with Leona. I think we sang Bad Romance by Lady Gaga. That's going to be ingrained in the mind of too many people for a long time. So but yeah, that's by far my favorite memories, is just those cohort bonding times, whether it's in the class or outside of the class.
Thanks. Leona, do you have any comments?
Yeah. I'm going to piggyback off of what Jason said, because I feel the same. And I think all four of us feel the same as well. And, I've been really emotional this week because obviously like the program is coming to an end for us. And looking back, I think the best part of the program was just making lifelong friends. And you really develop these bonds when you have the opportunity to travel abroad in an academic setting. And Like Jason said, there are just so many memories that will forever be in my heart. And I'm just so grateful, and I feel so blessed to have had the opportunity to have met everyone, including like everyone that's on this call today.
Thanks. Piggybacking off that, I met Leona on a trip, but it wasn't abroad. It was to Detroit, and it was for the Net Impact Conference. And USD helped. I applied to get a little bit of scholarship money to help with the cost of that because conferences can be super expensive. But I got to know Leona, who is a second-year PMBA student, and then I got to know some other second-year students that I might not have been able to get to know as closely. And then the same with, I did a study abroad in intersession in Rome, and I got to know so many people that I might not have otherwise gotten to know just going to the typical classes. And yeah, I think you guys are just like head on about how great all the cohort bonding is and like the intermingling of cohort bonding is. So, all the good memories.
Well, I have nothing left to say because you guys said everything that I was going to say. But just one more note, though. Leona had mentioned that she went to Japan. We actually just did that trip together. We went to Tokyo to take a class there. And I've traveled a lot. I've lived abroad. I lived in Australia for a bit. And that was the best trip I've taken in my life thus far. So, and I think that's due to a multitude of factors, but mostly because of just the people we were with, and the team at USD that organizes these trips is incredible. They really put a lot of time and effort into doing this. So definitely a great opportunity. If or when you choose to go to USD, definitely go to Tokyo. It's a good one. So just wanted to throw that out there. Does anyone have anything else to add before I move on to the last question? No, we're good? Okay. So for our last question, what is the alumni network like at USD? When you graduate, do you just disappear, or is there still room for the graduates to hang out and bond and network? Leona, do you want to go ahead?
Yes. In terms of staying in touch with USD alumni, I know that there's a system in place, a platform that we can sign up for. But I also, in terms of networking and staying in touch, I also think that you just have to be proactive yourself. That initiative has to start from you. And any sort of promotion, any shift in career, send out that email to people that you're close to in your cohort, or in your cohort when you graduated, to any mentors, both on campus and off campus, and just to add more context to how important this network is within your cohort. Because I'm in the job market, I identified an organization that I'd really love to work for, and turns out that my classmate Ian worked there at one point, and he was kind enough to make an introduction for me. So I think just being kind to your cohort, really bonding with them and getting to know them will really set you up for success.
Yeah, I will just add a little bit. Leona covered quite a bit there. You know, it's like anything in life, you kind of get out what you put in. And I think if you're pouring into the community at USD, then you're going to be able to tap into a rich experience with alumni and other students. I know that our student association hosted events, a seat at the table, I think it was called, where we had students sit down with alumni for a personal dinner among like 10 people. So that's a pretty intimate session where you can pick someone's brain and get to know them pretty well for, you know, an hour and a half or so. But yeah, I think that what you put into it, and kind of, you know, I'm not qualified to speak on behalf of alumni yet, but I think that most people are happy to work with you and happy to help if you're, you know, a positive influence on them too, and just, you know, doing your fair share of the work too. So yeah, what I've engaged, exactly, we're not alumni yet, but we've definitely been engaged with a lot of alumni. I like the focus that the word networking is thrown out as being a butterfly and talking to everybody in the room, and that's not necessarily what they want to focus you on. You're welcome to do that. You can talk to everybody, but you're also going to get guided very well to people that are doing what you're passionate about. And a lot of times the goal may not even be to ask for a job. Leona and I literally have connected and stayed friends through this whole semester, and then she realized that she was going through LinkedIn and checking out the company, Ian knows all of these people. Why does he know them? So these kinds of things will come up a lot. And then you can even just, from those relationships you've created, that's going to lead into career opportunities and other builds that we've seen. I look forward to growing on those shortly.
Awesome. Thanks, Ian. Well, thanks everyone for all of your insights on just your experience at USD. And Kelly, if you want to maybe share your screen again with our contact information to all you prospective students out there. If you have any more questions and you want to reach out to myself or Kelly or to anyone else on this panel, feel free to send us an email and get in touch with us. We're happy to answer any further questions that you guys have. So thank you so much for listening to us speak over the last 45 minutes. And good luck with your application process, and we hope to see you at USD next year.